So guys, I hope you have a good evening and today we're gonna review the Outlast Trials. I spent a lot of time in the Outlast Trials stumbling about, lost and afraid, slipping about the Crimson Spader, the coast every square inch of this place, screaming and running and screaming some more as a bombashing young kid from a Ronald McDonald fever dream scuttled in my wake. Every one of them has their own particular fable. The huge dude can duck into the waist his passageways. The night vision dude is blind when he is dragged into the light, but you don't think in remembering that is I crush down the corridor, detonating every mine and smacking into every sound alarm. The greedy gasps of my purser hold on heavy in my ears. I can think rationally here. I can barely think at all. Did why the dudes in the white coat behind frosted glass always seems so disappointed in me when I emerge pale and shaky at the end of each trial. They don't seem to care that for someone like me, someone who tries so hard to be steely but has been steadily giving themselves away since Snake first met Mary. Emerging it all is the victory. There is a story here, but it's pretty light touch. Murkoff's back also it doesn't really matter if you're new to the franchise and the name means nothing to you, and this time. A holy baby of cold science bros are giddy at the prospect of testing a range of mind control technology on a bunch of hapless, hopeless souls in the grip of the Cold War. You'll be put through a series of executing trials designed to test the limits of your endurance, each more twisted and wicked than the last. A confusing maze of a police station, an obstinate face smile of an orphanage, the shadowy alleys of a amusement park where the only fun you find is within your funeral coffin. There are more locations coming, I'm sure, but it's out in early access that you'll get to explore for now. You'd like to think that good things. I can lost in single well-lit room with a breadcrumb trail and a GPS, but Jicky Rascal red barrels like to mix things up, so door and windows and hanging spots, more on those in a sec, will move each time you return. Like its predecessors, the Outlast Trials throws you into the shadow with naught but those godless and what's left your sanity, and once again you can fight back. Yes, it upsets. Yes, it's bloody challenging and challenging bloody, but as well as the sinister things creeping about in the dark, you will face other danger to such as the glass on the floor and the endless sound traps that give away your location. There are mines and booby traps and the aggravating dude from pumps you full of groovies that brings on desert locations. Yes, there are healing items to salvage, and later when you unlock the rig, you can buy the ability to heal yourself. But there is never quite enough resource to go around, and never enough time to properly weigh up whatever it was, sacrificing the looking to grab a revive syringer. Especially as the item boxes are booby trapped to spray you with gas if you dither too long. And that's the problem with the Outlast Trials for me. I'm indeed a titterer, which means I'm forever being spotted and hunted and bloodied. It's also why my end of trial grading is always rubbish when compared with my teammate. Also, it was with some surprise that we realized that regardless of whatever you complete the mission objectives or cover in a pin your final score seems to come down to the number of times you took damage and or triggered a trap rather than how collegial a teammate you were. I guess it come as no surprise that to survive the Outlast Trials still is key. With limited batteries and medicine and even theater inventory, the best way to navigate the space is to do it slowly, creeping from hiding spot to hiding spot, which can include the dark spaces under desk, locker, crawl spaces, or rubbishing bins. As well as your upgradable rig, there are currently 4 available: Stun, Blind, Heal, and X-Ray, which all pretty much do that this says on the tin. You can also use your victory tickets to buy black market perceptions to which unlock say a new inventory slot or the slide which only seem to make things worse when you're being chased. Eventually, you can unlock amps to which offer even more perks such as ability to instantly recover your stamina whilst in hitting or don't protect your sleepers. That means you can step on broken glass without making any noise. Your XP, on other hand, pointless I'm afraid, unless you have a burning desire to pull on some Hingston-inspired jort or pimp out the bar breaks yourselves and nothing else to use for it. Later, when you harness the difficulty, it almost doesn't matter how still you are, so then things become chaotic all over again. Thought you ducked into the locker before the enemy turned in the corner? Apparently not. Figure you slammed the door and slip it under the desk before we were spotted. Sorry, my friend. Throw in slow to dragon stamina system and it feels like the game mechanics have been designed to ensure that you can't escape pursuits, which is pain is preferable in co-op, but utterly slowed but attempting a trial alone. Developer Red Barrels has promised more trials, challenges, enemy perks, and customization options, alongside bug fixes and balance tweaks as the Outlast Trials progress through early access, but it takes a pretty fundamental change to improve on those issues above. And while I screamed a lot of the Outlast Trials isn't scary, at least not in the way it were, whereas it applies some aspect of its original premise courtesy, as one shit he saw me gun and mouse chase seconds the glowing atmosphere has gone. Yes, it makes me scream, but only because once again some dude hiding in a locker has taken me by surprise, or because my stamina ran out again, and I can hear the Pops Master snickering right behind me. But whilst I suspect that will disappoint some who spend a lot of time creeping around the dark halls of Mount Massive Asylum, with sweaty palms and tangy time thought, I certainly did. Thank you for watching guys, goodbye.